Welcome to my channel, Sunshine Shoulders. I'm Calvin. Thank you so much for stopping by today. Truly grateful. So many channels you could be watching, but you're watching man. Your first relationship in the Philippines is not going to work. Chalk it up to experience. But first of all, let me put this disclaimer out here. I'm not some relationship guru. What I do is I just share my experiences over here. You know, what I'm seeing, living, experience, and I call it the nitty gritty. And since 93% of my viewers are men and 100% of you are going to have some type of relationship over here, I just feel the need to talk about it from time to time. One of the consequences of dating here in the Philippines is that you may have to be involved with 3, 4, or 5 women before you finally find someone that you can get along with and you have some type of compatibility with. I'm not trying to discourage anyone or burst any bubbles. It is what it is, and we're not going to place blame one way or the other. There's a lot of reasons why that first relationship doesn't work, and this is just some of them that I'm going to talk about today. The very first one, and one of the main reasons why the first relationship doesn't work over here is because it starts out too fast. It's like a rocket shooting off. Eventually it gets up to the stratosphere and then it starts coming back down. It's hot, it's heavy, fire's burning, but eventually the flame burns out. I believe a relationship should be a journey, not an adventure. You're discovering new things about each other along the way. But if you do it all in the beginning, what's left to discover? You get over here, the minute you get off the plane, you know, you're having sex, you're maybe having babies, you're talking marriage. You're doing everything in the beginning. What's left to discover? What happens on down the line? You've done it all. I remember my mother used to tell my sister, one of my older sisters, used to always want to go out to the nightclubs and everything before she was 21. She said, well, by the time you're 21 and you're able to legally go in those places, you're not going to enjoy it because you've seen it all already. So that's the thing about coming over here and starting out so fast like that. It's not going to last, man. And I know there's people watching now who have last. You know, their relationship lasted. But for most of us, that first relationship doesn't work. You're the exception. It only proves the rule to be correct. But no matter how many times we say slow down, because when I interviewed Eric Michaels, the Belgium gentleman, he said so much stuff, man, that went over y'all's heads. He was giving straight knowledge about the Philippines over here. Not just the people, but the women, relationships, the whole thing. Number one, he said was, be careful. That's what he said. But it takes time to trust. It takes time to care for somebody. But when you come over here, I mean, pants burning, you're getting married, you don't know who you're marrying. So it starts out too fast. Another reason why they go left and they don't work is because we come into them for the wrong reasons. If we're being honest, you know, lust is a bad boy. And when you're lusting, when you're sexually frustrated, like a lot of men are when they come over here, you ignore all the red flags that's there. And we're going to talk a little bit about that. But is it a rebound? Some of us are on the rebound and don't even know it. But we go into it for the wrong reasons. Like I said, she may be going into it for financial reasons, a new life, or whatever. Remember, we're not placing any blame because we really don't know whose fault it is. But I do know this. Majority of the men that I talk to over here, and I see them in happy, successful relationships, I'm saying, hey, is this the first Filipina you've ever dealt with? No. But on the other hand, with the Filipina, it's going to be the first foreigner she ever dealt with. So let's talk about that today. Yeah, but we go into it for the wrong reasons. I think this is a subject along with that we should talk about more often, along with financing and investing in Filipinas. This is stuff that you can talk about over and over and over because there's always new viewers. People aren't going to listen. There's always new lessons to learn. But we go into it for the wrong reasons. Are you just lonely? And you think, getting married or having a live-in is going to solve that? Are you sexually frustrated? What happens when you've gotten all that fulfilled? See, it takes time to get to know somebody. And that's what this next one comes into. It's the fantasy versus the reality. In our minds, we've made her out to be somebody else. But once we get here, it's totally different. Both of y'all. You start both unpacking all that baggage from your life experiences and then from other relationships. So you're going to start seeing stuff you don't like. It all starts out, just like Eric Michael says, it all starts out beautiful in the beginning. What relationship doesn't start out beautiful in the beginning? What relationship doesn't start out thinking, oh, this is going to last forever? But then things start coming out. You start to see. Can you handle the pressure that a Filipino puts on you when she wants to be with you 24 hours a day, around the clock, everywhere you go? See, a lot of us can't handle that when we get over here. And see, as we go from one woman to the next over here, and it may sound crazy, but it's not. You learn a little bit along the way. So finally, when you get to the point of meeting a nice woman, you say, okay, this is it. This is the one I'm going to settle with because I know what to expect now. When you first come over here, you don't know what to expect. The fantasy doesn't meet the reality. She doesn't look the same. The filters aren't working in person. Her personality is not the same when you get over here. See, there's a lot of reasons why that first relationship won't work. I'm just kind of letting you know up front that the odds are against you. And there's some people who beat the odds, but not a lot. So don't waste a lot of time. Don't waste a lot of money on that first relationship because you're going to piss it all away in the first few months. And it usually takes about, if you're with her every day, if you come over as an expat, it takes about a year and then, it's going to hit the fan. The rubber hits the road and you're going to see what you got. But a long distance relationship, it may stretch out because remember, absence makes the heart grow fonder. When you're way away, it keeps the relationship fresh. So it can go on for a while. If you're here once or twice a year, you understand what I'm talking about. But don't waste a whole lot of money and a whole lot of time on this first relationship because it's not going to work. Just recently, I had went out with a group of people. When we were in Cebu, I'd say it was 10 couples. And every last couple, the guy, rather, I asked, hey, this is the first Filipino you've ever dealt with because they're all happy now. These is all guys that are settled down now. They're married. They're living in now. They said no to a man except for one. And it scared him to death. He's like, Calvin, why do you think that happens? He said, I want mine to work. I said, we all wanted ours to work, man. But then a week later, he's calling me, telling me he's going to split with the girl. And I said, no, don't do it, you know. But it's just a consequence of dating over here. That you may have to go through 4 or 5, sometimes 6 women, believe it or not, before you finally find one. Because you're also going to go through that phase of the one that got away. And you're just going to learn all this from experience. But that first one's not going to work, guys. And if it does, you're very, very fortunate. It's no knock against the Filipino. More times than not, and I'm not placing blame on anybody, we have to put the blame on our shoulders. Because remember, we're coming here. We're bringing whatever it is in our suitcase of life experiences and past relationships over here with us. But it starts out too fast, man. Slow down a little bit. A relationship should be a journey, not a destination. Always discovering new things about each other, getting surprises. But if you do it all in the beginning, what's left to discover? The flame's going to burn out. Another thing is, there's always somebody better in our mind. When you get over here, you're just going to see some just unbelievably beautiful women. And you're always going to doubt yourself. Am I with the right one? But in the beginning, you don't know. And that's one of the consequences of coming over here. Dating online. And there's nothing wrong with this, guys. Again, dating online. People put that out there that I'm against that. I'm not. I know what it's for. It's to break the ice. You're coming from 8,000 miles away. I get it. You want to meet somebody over here. You want to feel comfortable. But you still have to get to know the lady. I don't care how you meet her. But there's always going to be somebody better in your mind in the beginning. You're going to see, if you got a 35-year-old, you're going to see a 25-year-old who's going to knock your socks off. That you may be able to get involved with. And that's always going to stay there. That's always going to be working in your mind. Because it takes time to trust. You're not going to trust right away. She's not going to trust right away. And the less promises you make, the better. Keep the damn promises to yourself. That's another reason why it goes off track. Because you can't keep every promise you make. You're hot and heavy. You got this beautiful young lady in front of you. You promising her the world to get what you want. The house, the visa, the marriage, the motorcycle. Shut up, man. Get to know the lady. Let her get to know you. Because what we do, remember fantasy versus reality, we put our best foot forward. We only show our best quality in the beginning. We hide our worst qualities. It's almost like a job interview. You go there, you're like, man, I want this job. But then 3 or 4 months into it, you're like, man, I hate this damn job. Once the rubber hits the road, guys. So I just wanted to talk about that a little bit today. Because a lot of y'all coming over here, a lot of you getting in relationships. But I just want to let you know that first one's not going to work. And if it does, you're very fortunate. It's nobody's fault. That's just how it is. And that's just some of the reasons why they don't work. Let your relationship be a journey. You'll know which one it is. You'll know if she's the one. Because your relationship is going to continue to grow. You're going to continue to be surprised. You're still going to have those butterflies going on in your stomach when you see her. She's still going to turn you on, no matter how many years down the line it is. But you can't care for somebody in the beginning. It takes a long time to do that. But we try to do it all up front. And if you're in a rebound, man, give yourself some time. Because that flame is going to go out, man. And then there's going to be a lot of hurt feelings. And we don't want enemies over here. We came over here for peace We came over here to rejuvenate and to recreate our lives. So thank you so much for stopping by. If you're in America, it's getting late. Before you let your head hit the pillow, please find somebody to help. But if you don't want them late grocery runs, beer runs, weed runs, just getting off second shift on your lunch break, you see somebody out in the street, buy them something to eat, buy them something to drink, give them a few dollars. If you're in the Philippines, it's early. We're on our way. I had to change my plans a little bit, man. The weather over here, where I am, is really bad. I'm not going to risk right now going down into the deep Mindanao because you got to get on those ferries. You got to get on those 2GOs and everything. But I'm going. But I've got something else lined up for you guys. Also, it's not a day goes by that I don't help somebody over here. I've been traveling. I haven't been able to do my spin wheel. I'm going to do it in the morning. Wednesday, I'll be settled because I do it on Wednesday and Friday to help Filipinos struggling during the lockdowns. Because if I don't know anything else, I know this one thing for sure. When we help other people, we help ourselves. Take care, stay safe, stay COVID free. I'll see you next time. You know, hindsight is always 20/20. I know a lot of you guys have already jumped the gun. You've gotten married. She may be pregnant. But the bottom line is, man, you don't know what you got yet. And I hope it does work out for you. I'm not here to burst anybody's bubbles, but it is what it is. And for some reason, when we come over here, that first relationship doesn't work out. Take care.